Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And this time, the fan is on, and I have some extra lighting. So, there you go. Right now, the time is approximately 2:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, we're doing a daytime edition. And the date is Monday, November 14th, 2022. The moon is waning in... Oh, I forgot the waning moon sign. Isn't that so embarrassing? The moon is waning in Leo. Yes, the moon is waning in Leo, the sign of the lioness. And the sun is transiting in Scorpio. But I can already feel the sun, beginning to move in the direction of entering Sagittarius. So we have the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful November 2022 edition of the Many Moons 2022 Lunar Planner. And I have yet to receive my 2023 edition, but once I do, I'll do a video about that. So of course, in case you're wondering out there in YouTube land, yes, there are going to be close-ups. And I'm going to actually have Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, begin with a long overdue close-up, and that is of my beautiful new bracelet. These are tourmalinated quartz beads. And there is a beautiful metaphysical store in the Sea Cliff section of Long Island, which is the unofficial 6th borough of New York City in New York State. And it's called Dreams East. And at first I thought it was a mala bead necklace. But I was just like, oh. And you know, I love how the different beads look like different lunar phases. So of course it's on the left side of it's on my left wrist as opposed to my right wrist. So, and of course, the gorgeous, 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 gorgeous cover of the Many Moons 2022 Lunar Planner, which of course Drake is going to do a close-up of. Right, Drake? He said no, but you know he meant yes. Because he's not going to say no to me, right? Right. And no, you don't say yes. Stop it. And of course, I'm going to have him do a close-up of the Vesica Pisces at the bottom. I love that it's like this new moon and full moon that are conjoining, and you have this beautiful Vesica Pisces in the center. I dig this. I dig this just as much as the front cover. So, we have the November 2022 entry. I do realize it is after November 1st. But as most of you know, when my professional psychic practice is especially abundantly full, everything else takes a back seat, including YouTube videos. November monthly overview. November is a rebalance by way of illumination. Let me say that again. November is a rebalance by way of illumination. The lunar eclipse at the start of the month, which was a full moon / lunar eclipse in Taurus, which was on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. And believe me, even when I was Mr. Anti-Politics, which I miss being Mr. Anti-Politics, by the way, even I could see that was not a coincidence, that a full moon / lunar eclipse in the sign of love, money, and creativity was on an election day. But I digress. The lunar eclipse at the start of the month shines a light on shadows that once seen can no longer be ignored. It may feel easier to leave certain huge issues unaddressed, but in the long run, these will snowball and the remedies will be harder to find. I heard a phone ringing. YouTube, I apologize. I heard a phone ringing. It was certainly loud enough for me to hear, yes. It was Drake. I'm going to start this again. November is and I promise you this is the last time I'm starting from the beginning, because no one is going to interfere in any way, shape, or form. November is a rebalance by way of illumination. The lunar eclipse at the start of the month, which was on specifically a full moon / lunar eclipse in Taurus on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, shines a light on shadows that once seen can no longer be ignored. It may feel easier to leave certain huge issues unaddressed, but in the long run, these will snowball and the remedies will be harder to find. It may feel indescribable and bigger than you. The third week of November will grant you more clarity. The third week of November will grant you more clarity. Technically, we are in that third week. Yeah, because the first day of November was on a Tuesday. Last week was the second week of November. So we are already in the third week of November. So, the third week of November will grant you more clarity. Change does not happen all at once. Do what you can with what you've got. That's always been one of my personal favorite mantras. Use what you have. Do what you can with what you've got. Some bridges need to be burned. And some bitches need to be blocked. And you know who I'm talking about. Block them bitches. They're not making you happy. They're not giving you peace. They're not giving you money. They are giving you toxicity. And they're giving you Karenicity and Margaricity and Caucasity. And they're giving you garbage. Block them bitches now. Some bridges need to be burned. Some bitches need to be blocked. And other bridges need to be mended. Be clear you know the difference before getting out the lighter fluid. I'm flashing to that infamous scene from Waiting to Exhale. One of the women was very upset with her husband and burned his clothes, burned his car. She was like, the lighter fluid, and she's like, and walking away like, I am the shit. All right, I'm going to get back on track, I promise. Be clear you know the difference before getting out the lighter fluid. You may feel lonely through this process. That's because you are becoming a different person. What you previously put up with because you wanted love or acceptance is no longer acceptable. Your self-perception could be all over the map now. How you want to see yourself and how you want to be versus how you are behaving or where you are falling short of expectations becomes a conflict that could potentially keep you stuck. This influences loved ones, so be careful. Some people won't understand, and that's okay. Conflict isn't abuse, sweet one. I love that she uses the phrase sweet one. And it certainly doesn't have to pull you from your purpose. Be open to working it out with those you love. The brambles and boulders are temporary. The theme for November is turning. Once again, you find yourself at a crossroads. Hail Hecate. Hail Papalegua. The fact that they get more frequent is a good thing. Promise. We aren't meant to stay the same, so neither will our circumstances. If you feel like you can't go on a certain way, or rather, if you feel like you can't go on in a certain way, it means you can't. Like it no longer serves your needs. Lessons are now learned more quickly. Patterns are dissolving. Look back to the beginning of the year to see how far you've come. Turn away from regrets and resentments. For some of us, that can be very challenging, but I promise you, it is so worth it. It is absolutely worth it. I used to hold grudges like nobody's business. I can't do it anymore. I haven't been able to do it actually since 2019, and specifically since March through June of 2019. But I digress. Obsessing over the past or other things you cannot control is a fool's errand. Turn within. Stay quiet for long enough, and the answers shall come. Turn towards. It isn't enough to say you want something. You've got to be it as well. So don't say you want wealth. Be wealth. Saying that you want love is not the same as being love. Saying that you want to be fulfilled isn't the same as being the essence, the living embodiment of fulfillment. Immerse yourself by turning. Compost what is ready to be alchemized. Words that are ready to become sentences. Pages that mark new chapters, notes that are ready to become songs, visions that are ready to become purpose. Wow, that is so deep. So, I was pleasantly surprised to learn that this has a spread. It is the November Tarot spread, What to Turn Towards. For a diagram of the spread, sign up for the newsletter. And I will make sure to include the website address for Sarah's Moon Studio, so you can sign up for the newsletter. I'm pretty sure that you can sign up for the newsletter regardless of where you are. And I just heard a knock at the door, so I might need to do a continuation of this video. I do apologize for that, but stay tuned. Hello YouTube, and welcome back. We had a brief commercial break. Isn't that cute? No, seriously, a neighbor of mine had knocked on the door and needed assistance with something, and, well, there you go. So welcome back, YouTube land. Okay, so, the November Tarot spread, What to Turn Towards. So it is a 6-card spread. Since I do not know what the spread formation is, I'm just going to keep it simple, and if you do this at home, do 2 rows of 3 cards each. So card number 1, what part of me must I birth? Card number 2, what pattern or phrase is dissolving, never to return? Card number 3, what contracts must I consciously break this month? Card number 4, where is my fear coming from? Card number 5, what is the perspective or new mindset I must adapt? And card number 6, what must I turn towards for support? I am using the Revelations Tarot, which was the tarot deck that I used for my personal tarot spreads last year. And I believe it is by Zach Wong. I will definitely have information about this deck in the description box, and I will also list the card positions for this spread in the description box. But for now, I call upon the spirits. I call upon my psychic guides. I call upon the goddesses and the gods, the ascended masters, and Drake, would you kindly hand me the card that jumped out of the deck, please? For those of you that have had readings with me when I use cards, you know that I call this the reading before the reading. Thank you. So I'm going to have Drake do a quick close-up of the back of the card design. And I'm going to have Drake do a quick close-up of the front of the card design. It is the 6 of Wands, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that by doing this spread, you will be assured victory and success. A few more shuffles. Cut the deck into 3 piles. I'm going to pull from the top, and then of course I will do a final message card from the bottommost card of the deck. Okay, so card number 1. And for those of you that are new to my YouTube channel, I am asking these questions for the collective. This may resonate with some of you in YouTube land. This may not resonate with some of you in YouTube land. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You let me know in the comments. If it did, the more comments that I receive, the more I'll know if it did or if it didn't. And we'll take it from there. So card number 1. What part of us must we birth? What part of me must I birth? What part of you must you birth? And is Drake doing a close-up? Without additional sound effects? Thank you. Page of Pentacles. So, what do you need to begin doing, but have yet to begin doing, with regards to your physical health and with regards to your financial health? I often look at pages as thoughts and ideas not in motion. So right now, you are gathering information, you are gathering instructions, you are gathering resources, and then you are going to begin taking action in improving your physical health and improving your financial health. Or said another way, give birth to new financially healing practices, new physically healing practices. Card number 2. What pattern or phrase is dissolving, never to return? And of course, I'm going to have Drake do a close-up of this card as well. What pattern or phrase is dissolving, never to return? 8 of Swords. Being bound, feeling stuck, feeling that you have nowhere to turn to. What contracts must we consciously break in November 2022? Four of Wands. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that some of you need to throw certain people out of your life and even out of your home once and for all. Sometimes the bitches need to be evicted as opposed to blocked. And, you know, it's not a coincidence that the Four of Wands is traditionally the house card. So maybe you are the bitch that's going to move. Maybe you need to be the bitch that moves. Card number 4, where is your fear coming from? Card number 4, where is your fear coming from? Money and health. 2 of Pentacles. You're worrying too much about your money, you're worrying too much about your health. Now, instead of worrying about your money, instead of worrying about your health, what can you do to improve your money situation, to improve your physical health? And I'm focusing specifically on physical health because it is a Pentacles card. What is the perspective or new mindset that you must adapt? What is the perspective or new mindset that you must adapt? 5 of Pentacles. This is going to be so incredibly challenging for some of you. In fact, let me be perfectly blunt. For some of you, this is going to be damn near impossible. Stop worrying, period. By the way, I would love for you to prove me wrong. I live for being proved wrong because it doesn't happen that often. I wish it did. What must you turn towards for support? What must you turn towards for support? That's not the card I expected. I expected a major arcana card, by the way. So it's a Ten of Pentacles. Your ancestors, your heritage, especially your cultural, ethnic, racial heritage. Turn to them for your support. And the final message card is the Five of Swords. Wait a minute. Not one major arcana card. That's bizarre in my experience. Wow. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the divine is already set in these matters. So it's about the mundane. It's about the physical realm. And the Five of Swords is traditionally the card of indecision. So let me say this with regards to the presence of this card as the final message card for the collective. What decisions need to be made first? As I'm receiving a phone call. Maybe you need to make a phone call. Maybe you need to send an email or a text message. Or maybe you need to ask somebody that you trust in every possible way to give you some guidance on the matter. I want to thank the Sarah Faith Gottsteiner for co-creating the Many Moons Lunar Planners with so many amazing living deities and beautiful expressions of humanity. And of course, I want to thank all of you in YouTube land for honoring who I am and what I do, and for honoring Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person, for my YouTube videos, for everything he does as well. Thank you so very much for all the likes. All those likes help out the channel. They do, they really do. All the comments, all the shares, whether it is to a social media platform that I no longer use, such as Facebook, or a social media platform that I have never used, such as Reddit, and of course for subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And an extra big and beautiful thank you to those of you who have scheduled your sessions, including the individual who was recommended to me by his wife, with whom I had the honor and pleasure of conducting a reading on yesterday, in fact, Sunday, November 13th, 2022. And the husband is going to have a reading with me by video this Saturday, November 18th, 2022 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you for those of you that have scheduled your sessions. Have a beautiful day, have a wonderful night, enjoy the rest of your week, and stay tuned for the next video.